A 4 a.m. start got us to Lower Manhattan and the ferry terminal at 6 a.m. for the trip to Staten Island. Thousands of runners converged for a brief wait and then onto the ferry. The logistics of moving 38,000 runners to the start was impressive and went quickly. During the ride across New York Harbor, everyone was very friendly, with people from many countries joining in conversations. After the 30-minute ferry ride, these huddled masses had a 10-minute bus ride to Fort Wadsworth, where the only crowd all morning was at the security check to get into the base. UPS trucks were lined up to collect our bags of any possessions that we wanted to have when we reached the finish line. The old fort and Coast Guard base were at the end of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. There were some activities and entertainment, but most people were content to hang out in the sun with runners from all over the world for the 2 to 3 hours until all the runners had arrived. As the area filled up, the excitement grew as we got closer to our starting times. There were 3 different starting lines for different parts of the bridge, and each with 3 wave start times at 9:40, 10, and 10:20, with fastest runners in the first start and slower runners in the later starts. We were getting close as runners were called to their waves and their starting corrals. 15 minutes to assemble, throw off your warm-up clothes, and then a short walk to the starting line. We were now really ready to start.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. My home, sweet home. Once again, New Viewpoint, thank you very much. New York City awaits you on your mark.
The start was the first of many wow moments during the race. As you run across the 1.5-mile bridge, you see the Atlantic Ocean on the right and the Manhattan skyline on your left. Most amazing to me was the bridge itself and seeing so many other people running. Then it's down off the bridge and into Brooklyn, and the first of millions of spectators. After some turns at mile 3, we're on 4th Avenue. Time to get on pace, not too fast. Check your time while the microchip in your sneaker sends a signal to the official timer. The 5-mile stretch of 4th Avenue to the Williamsburg Bank Building is when the enormity of the race sinks in, with mile after mile and thousands of people. Then a turn at mile 8 and everyone is squeezed onto Lafayette Avenue. Miles 9, 10, and 11 through Bedford-Stuyvesant, Williamsburg, and Greenpoint. Every turn brings something new to see along the course, and different runners as they speed up and slow down. Everywhere there are crowds and bands playing, and as the streets get narrow, the runners close in and keep on moving. Mile 12, approaching the Pulaski Bridge to Queens and the halfway point. No spectators on the bridge, just the runners and the view. At 13.1 miles, I'm halfway in 2 hours and 8 minutes. I don't know it yet, but the first place man finished all 26.2 miles in the same time. I do know it's my best half marathon time. Mile 14 in Long Island City, approaching the 59th Street Bridge. I used to work here, and on 9/11, I tried to walk across the bridge into Manhattan to get home, but could not because there were thousands of people walking out of Manhattan. Today, I will get across. In mile 15 at the crest of the bridge, everyone slowed. A runner was down. I learned later that he had a heart attack. I ran on behalf of the American Heart Association and know that everyone should learn that exercise will help your heart's health, but also learn the risk of extreme exercise and how factors such as heredity and diet can affect your health. Also, that runner was given CPR by his fellow runners, so learn that too. On the downhill side of the bridge, everyone was running. We could hear the crowd on First Avenue. Miles 16 to 20 on First Avenue were amazing, with huge crowds and runners as far as you could see. Coming up on mile 20 is the Willis Avenue Bridge, crossing over into the Bronx. Everyone starts looking tired, but people still cheer you on for the mile while you're in the Bronx. We cross over the Madison Avenue Bridge back into Harlem at 135th Street. Then it's a 3-mile uphill run on 5th Avenue and into Central Park at mile 24. One mile in the park and you feel you'll make it. But then you come to the Plaza Hotel and see how far you still need to go. Up to Columbus Circle and turn back into the park, and then you're in the last quarter mile up the hill. Seems like the hardest hill and the easiest at the same time, because it hurts, but you can see the finish line ahead. Now the runners are cheering as we cross the finish line. Just as it was at the start 26.2 miles ago, past the finish line there's no spectators, just the runners. We get a finisher medal and then walk away to recuperate, and maybe start planning for next year. Thank you all for your support.